Good morning, just about, still morning. We're climbing up from Widdicombe in the Moor, which is down there. I can't remember the name of the place that Nicole is taking us, but it's a gorgeous winter's morning, now afternoon. That noise is Abby putting about 3 layers of clothing in my rucksack, which is why we stopped. Notice nobody else is carrying a rucksack. Quite. Anyway, this is rather beautiful, isn't it? So we're going to go on a walk today on Dartmoor. Off we go. So, that's the road that we drove down to get here. Actually 1 in 5, it's quite steep. And the ladies said to come and play hide and seek. So obviously I said yes, and they can go and hide, and I'm going to go for a walk, and hopefully they'll notice before they get lost. Off you go then, ladies. Why don't you hide that way? Okay. Dry stone walls. Don't know. Nikki was a little surprised to find this dry stone wall because it's not been mentioned on the otherwise so far very detailed guide to our walk. So it's quite possible that in the space of the first 25 minutes of our walk we have now taken a wrong turning, which nonetheless leaves us with a very nice view, but means that we don't know where we are. Anyhow, so there's Abby. Hello. I'm getting a bit of deja vu here. Oh, you're hilarious. Alright, I think we probably better catch up. Hat as well?
Yeah.
Is there space?
Yeah, just.
Okay. Oh, look at that. Is that Hound Tor up there?
Might be.
That one.
See you.
Bye. Yeah, you go ahead and run, Abby. I'll just kind of lumber along. So we think we've found the right path again. I say we. We seem to have lost Becky and Abby. But since they're down there somewhere, and since we're going up there, and since Ben is making those whistling, hooting noises to draw them back, I'm sure. It's alright, they'll be fine, they'll see us. Ben, I'm sure we'll have no problem. Oh, nice thing. Here we are. Oh my goodness, that was embarrassing. So I just fell off a rock. Anyway, so here we are, we found everybody. And we are looking, we're pretty sure we're in the right place. We're going to Hazeldown Beacon and then Hazeldown Tor. Those are our first big landmarks. We're going to be following a kind of broad ridge path. And we're looking for a glider post, which sounds like a funny thing. It's basically a big wooden post that was embedded in the ground during the Second World War to stop Nazi gliders, hence glider post, from landing here. Because for a time it was feared that there would be an airborne paratroop invasion from Nazi Germany using gliders, because it was known, or pretty much known, that no German planes could easily get this far, at least not with a heavy load of men on board and then get back. So they just, anyway, you can figure out why that is. But we can't find any glider posts, but since they're made of wood and since the guide's a few years old, it's possible they've all disappeared since the guide was written. But can't see a single glider post anywhere. So you can see a rather nice view. How about that? Sun streaming through the clouds into the valley below. So that's Abby, which, as you can see, she's wearing even fewer outer garments than she was before, and the list of things which have been passed off to poor old dad that Abby was wearing or carrying now includes this little orange plastic whistle. She's gone to hide And we're going to go and find her. Ah, there we are. Good work, Becky. There. For a short while. How long is this walk going to be?
That's quite a long while for us.
Alright, so they basically would line them all the way up along the...
Where are we?
Oh, that makes sense.
We're somewhere.
Yeah.
There.
Well, there we are.
There we are. I think... Well,
So here's the remains of a glider post. And yes, I think if I were a pilot, which I'm not, I would be a bit perturbed about the thought of running into one of those.
oh wow.
There's another one. So there's Ben. There is...
Where's this video going?
Everywhere. How about that? Where are the ladies?
The icons on here.
On the pole. Abby's disappeared. Well, she's hiding after all. Becky and Mummy up there. Let's go, come. Well, that might be the beacon that Nicole was talking about. It looks like a kind of marker post of some kind. I don't know. Maybe the tour is up there. Wow, it's just so gorgeous. Look at this. Here comes a rather exhausted looking Becky and Abby. Hello, Abby. No, maybe not so exhausted. Maybe it's cheeky. Off we go. Oh yeah, and over the other side of this wall. Wow, look at that. Into the middle of Dartmoor. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Lunch. So, that Hamel Down Tor, I think is what it's called, used to be a Bronze Age burial mound, where we just had a spot of lunch. We're now going walking along here, and we're going up to that, which is not the Tor itself, but it's sort of on the way. The Tor is a couple of miles further on, I think. And my backpack feels a bit lighter because half the food's been eaten and everyone stopped, got cold and put the jumpers back on. So I'm feeling slightly energised. Right, off we go. I bet it is. I think it is. That was on the map, wasn't it? Hey, peek. No, this is another one of those glider posts. There are a few more back over there on the top of the moor. One over there, one over there. Broad barrow, and there is also some wild horses. Dartmoor ponies. Just over here. They're wild. Sorry, darling, did you just walk into me? I stopped in front of you. There we are. So they're wild horses. One of the few places in Britain where they sort of roam around. There we are. Not for you. How about that? They are. Wild Dartmoor pony. Isn't he gorgeous? He, she. Not quite tell from this distance. Beautiful animals. And that's Broad Barrow. There's another one. There we are. So I reckon this is Broad Barrow. Sorry, no, Broad Burrow. There we are. And Becky's decided to try and walk on the ice. Here's Abby. That's where we're headed. So this, we think, is Hamel Tor. And we also think that Abby is hiding somewhere. Because she normally is, so that's a safe bet generally. But because we also can't see her, and there we are. So there, you get a sense of what this landscape's like. So the view just over where Ben's pointing is where we're going. And yeah, just go down there and take a look at that. And then
Bronze Age people.
Very good, Ben. So that's where we've come. It's sort of broad ridge, I guess. And then we're out here. we're going to head down to that Bronze Age settlement in a second, I think. Look what we found. Oh. Right, to the Bronze Age settlement. Da-da-da-da-ba-ba. So we found the Bronze Age settlement down there. Oh, he's already gone down, obviously. We're up here. It's amazing. It's just like in this valley. More of a pass, really. There is a little stream flowing down from there. Down into the main valley. No, there's the other 2/5 of the family. Give us a smile.
Delete that one as well.
Didn't get your best side, Ben, that's okay. Right. I was just explaining that this part of the trail is an ancient wagon trail for trolls, which you can tell just by observing the distance between the two wheel tracks here and over there. For some reason they didn't seem to believe me. So during the Second World War there was an RAF bomber that crashed here on its return from operations in France, and this stone was erected, I think, by the mother of one of the pilots, and there's a plaque there which was put up more recently. So we're a bit lower down now. What does that look for? Well, I'm filming, and we're a bit lower down. A few trees, and we were up there, and all this bracken and thing. And yeah, we're going this way. This is what Ben just found.
You don't get lichens like this in cities, because like you don't only get lichens like that when there's really low levels of sulfur dioxide in the air. Which means that the air here is really, really clean, especially from sulfur dioxide. So you wouldn't find that in London or in a city. You only find that out on a moor in the open or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah. What about Rick Legs? Probably dead now anyway.
Don't know. Oh look, got it in his bike. Alright, rock and roll. Hello, so we're jumping.
My turn.
Alright, whose go is it to jump across there then?
It's Abby's turn.
Not that far. Go on, you know, Lucky.
Go on then.
Oh, that. No, not if I'm going to do
In a minute, I think we will. Well, that went well. Go on then, Becky. And Becky's still attached. Abby's still attached to the thorn bush.
Okay.
Hold a second.
Come
Oh dear. Oops. Abby short legs. Right, hold on a sec. Right, so that's where we've been. Just came along there. There's a beautiful stream that Abby landed in. And we're heading this way. So we're wandering along, and we came across this, which is interesting. Not the metal bit, the stone bit. This is an old medieval gate post. You see the little slots carved into it now, very worn. There would have been another one probably on the other side, maybe there, the side of the gate, or maybe the other side of the road over here. And it was, yeah, it's just stayed here in the road, on the side of the road by the hedge for hundreds of years. So here we are, pottering along the road, big old dry stone walls either side. Goodness knows how long they've been there. Hedges which have been trimmed by some big machine. These walls probably been rebuilt, fallen down and rebuilt for centuries. That up there is where we were. And that's where we came from. And this is where we're going. So we went up a little bit more, and the bottom of the valley fell away down a little bit more. So now you've got this beautiful view down here with all the little tiny settlements, villages, farms, the sun and streaming through the clouds, and we're just going along here another mile or two, and then we're not far off home. There's a sheep up there that Abby accused Ben of impersonating. Here's another nice late evening view. Well, not late evening, mid-afternoon really, but sun's going down. Off we go. Well, we're not far from the village now, and we found another tor. And guess who you can see climbing up to the top of it? She's disappeared now. Oh well, maybe we'll come back and have a look at that in a minute. But meanwhile, let me get in front of this Land Rover and I'll show you the view. There is what we're looking at. So, as promised, there they are. See if they give us a wave. There we are.
Ben might be going up too.
And Ben's on his way up. Very good. There's Ben.
1 minute. Don't kill yourself.
Bunch of yeah, good idea. Bunch of other kids up there as well. You can hear them shouting. Where's Ben? There we are. Very good.
Hello.
So every time I look round, Ben is making his way closer to the top here. There he is. Is he going to make it up there? I don't know. That's Abby behind him, yeah. Oh, well, we'll see. Oh, that's not Becky on the right. Or maybe that is Becky. Yeah, that looks like Becky. So hopefully they'll be able to catch Ben if he falls off. We'll see. So I found this hobbit up a tree. Here she comes. Where are you going?
Down.
Okay. Down. Well, we're going to go down here. It looks like the Shire, all these greens in the evening sunshine. Time to go. Cute little cottages. Lower Bone Hill Farm, that one's called. And as Abby pointed out, a tree house. Somebody's had some fun up there. So here are my 2/3 of my lovely ladies. Look at that view, isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah.
A limerick about Ben.
No, not on camera.
Oh, okay.
I don't actually know what it is.
And here is, of course,
Again.
the parish church.
Yeah.
Hey Ben. Do you want to hear it?
This is going to be on video if you read it, Becky.
It's a lichen again.
Yeah?
Same kind of lichen on this tree and on that. Loads on that one.
Oh, really? Nice one. Go on then, Becky. Do you want it to be on video?
No, I don't.
No, Ben doesn't. I told
Okay, well nobody will ever
you.
know.
Go away, guys.
Go away. Give us a wave then.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay, so we've officially reached the silly stage. You're going to get in the shop and have a look. You can if you want. So they've started writing limericks about each other. Becky wrote one about Ben, which goes like this.
There once was a boy called Ben who slept until 10:15. When asked to rise, he said he's met his demise and was eaten by a penguin.
Was eaten by a penguin. Doesn't rhyme with Ben, Becky. So in response, Ben and I wrote a limerick about Becky, which goes like this. There was a young lady called Becky who found writing limericks quite tricky. She tried many times to make them rhyme, but in the end they just wouldn't work. Oh, I've been killed! Ah!